of the sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned in to the prisoner to painter. Prisoner to painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner to painter. And now, a word from your local dealer.
Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie McDermott.
And today joining us is Debra.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on. Before we get into her story, we just want to have a quick word from our sponsor, Derek of Chem Clean Treatment Services.
Let me mute this first. Hold on.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Derek Walker, the owner of Chem Clean Treatment Services. We offer services for residential, commercial, pretty much specializes in soft washing with the power washing and water edging and other detail work that our customers will require. We also offer a membership program. We do on-site detailing, something that we do like the person is like in a bind where they want to pull out their RV or trailer or food trucks. Certain things that we can do on site if you don't want to bring it out, we offer that, but we will come to your house and clean it there.
All right. Let me just fix the setup.
Unmuted, everything good.
Yeah, trying to figure this out.
The one you just had it on was great. That one right there, dude.
Okay, cool.
But I want them flopped.
Like that?
Yep. Thank you. So anyways, welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast. Today joining us is Debra. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. So here we start from childhood and we work to where you are now. We believe that childhood kind of might point us why we are the way we are. Not just you, me, her, everybody that we've had on. So were you born and raised in Jackson?
No, not at all. I'm from Canada, Manitoba, Canada, actually.
Okay.
Yep. I was born near a small town, South Manitoba, and it was very small. And I was raised really strict and very secluded and very small village and very few people. And I played with my cousins and my siblings. That was it, in the trees.
Okay.
That was my life. Growing up, it was very simple, and I was homeschooled. And then when I was 5, my family moved to my childhood home. They moved 45 miles north and put it on a plot of land there where my dad was a nurseryman. And
wow.
We were raised in a church that is called the Gospel Hall.
Okay.
Name dropping. And I was raised into a Christian home.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents raised me to believe what the church taught us.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was very involved in the church. And I just remember a lot of hell, fire, and brimstone being preached. And I was honestly just scared. They preached about the rapture. They preached about the coming of the Lord. I was scared to be left behind. We watched the Left Behind movie a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All of them.
Trauma.
Revelation and all the things. Okay, so I was terrified from a little child, worrying about going to hell, about my sins. And at 5, what sins do you have? For real?
Yeah. None. I mean, realistically, probably none.
We're just children.
Yep.
But I was bad, apparently.
What was the family dynamic like? Mom and dad in the home? Did you have brothers, sisters, anything?
Yeah. So mom and dad were married. I had 3 older sisters, and then mom and dad had a second family. They had me when they were 38.
Okay.
And then I had a younger sister 2.5 years later. So there's 5 of us girls.
Wow.
And my dad had all girls, and my mom, she homeschooled all of us girls. There was a situation back when my older sisters were going to school in the little town that they were growing up in, where the teacher was molesting all its students.
Oh, no.
Shit.
So they pulled my older siblings out, and I was homeschooled for my whole life. But I was raised in the church, and my only outings were church, 3-4 times a week, and then go to youth group too.
Of course.
And so those are the only people I knew. And so I was so indoctrinated into like, but I always felt like something was off. Like there was something not right. And anytime I had a question, nobody listened to me. Nobody wanted to actually like hear me, see me, like understand why is this girl so concerned? Like I've always had an open mind apparently since I was a little girl, you know, the little spirit in me, the little feisty spirit. My mom called rebellious, but I was just different. And I knew there was more as a little girl, but like it was snuffed out of me pretty quickly. At age 5, I had a salvation experience with my dad in our dining room where he brought me to Jesus with the Holy Bible. But I still didn't get it. I think my family wanted me to become saved because they didn't want me to go to hell. And they wanted me to be left behind. And I was so scared about being left behind. I wanted to be saved because I didn't want to go to hell and I didn't want to be left behind. And I was like not even aware of what sin really was, being sheltered.
Yeah. Who was the most influential person in your life growing up?
My sister Wendy.
Okay.
She's a real one.
That's why they're down here.
We all knew I was going to cry. That's what I do.
It is a safe place, seriously.
Yeah.
It is.
No, she deserves roses. She was 12 years older than me when I was born. She kind of was like my little mother. She kept me under her wing. She protected me when there was chaos in the home. She kept me safe from a lot of stuff. But when she got married, I was 6. And she didn't move out of town, but that shook me because she was my little angel, almost like my little protector. She beat the shit out of me if I needed it too, you know, but she was, my mom was a little distant because of so much trauma from her own story that I was left alone a lot to my own, but without a voice and without being able to get answers to any questions. And so I just sat there and spun. And I can see my mental health started way back then in my room, you know, just when I was ashamed, when I was, you know, blamed for things I didn't do, you know, or told I was a bad kid when I was just really wanting to be myself.
Yeah.
And at age 7, my mom got excommunicated from the church we were growing up in. So that was really harsh. And that was a huge, that was like, all know about childhood when 7, 8 is the kind of that age where you're starting to come into your own person, right? And like my parents had always had marriage problems, but this was a whole nother level because my dad stayed in the church. And the law became more important than the vow he made to his wife. And I've had a really hard time with that for a really long time. Because I saw a lot of abuse in the home and experienced a lot of abuse in the home. And then all my sisters left me at a very young age, you know, and it was just me and my youngest sister. And then my mom was excommunicated from the church, and then I was saved, but then just really feeling the need to be accepted, you know. I don't know where I fit in anymore. Everything's been torn apart, and I didn't really have much relationship with God that was instilled into me. It was just a lot of fear instilled into me. So I did and performed and did as I was told to the best of my ability. I got into trouble with most of my siblings still, but I don't think I was a bad kid because, I mean, I have 3 boys and a girl. Boys and my boys, and my mom's been shocked. She's like, "You girls would have never done that." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, boys and I don't even know. Sorry." But yeah, so I guess that really shaped.
Sorry, that's
true
fun.
though. Like all that estrogen, 5 girls, and then I have 3 boys. What in the world? I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have brothers. But
Man.
my I got baptized when I was 12. I
Okay.
kind of just did things almost more so because it was like time. I watched everybody else in the church become baptized around that age. It was time to do it. It was like initiation time. It's kind of how it felt almost. And I was striving to be accepted. My dad, we could spend time together if we could talk about the word.
Mhm.
If I was aligning with his purpose for me. So at 14, I got into Assembly Fellowship, which is where you can finally partake in the communion with Assembly. And you still can't speak because in the church I was raised in, women do not speak in the church. And we all wear head coverings. And there was a lot of other rules, and different church, different gospel halls had different strictness, depending, or legalistic standards, depending on who was running the place and their backgrounds, where they came from. But I've been to a lot of different ones, and they're all generally the same, where it's a lot of fear-based gospel teaching from like not Jesus' words. And it's really got to the point where I was struggling in school. I think from all the trauma, I didn't realize I had trauma. I had ADHD and undiagnosed because I was homeschooled and my mother was very distant. So I basically homeschooled myself until I couldn't. And I hit a block with math in 7th grade. Algebra and geometry was just, I couldn't get it.
You ain't
and
the only one, man. I'm sorry.
I mean,
you ain't
come
the
on.
only one, dude.
There will be nothing in me that ever wants to go back and study that.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, she's
I struggle with basic math, but when you throw numbers that are letters in there, I'm like, oh, I like that.
See, I fucking hate it.
Oh, man, no.
I don't like that.
Maybe I could learn. At that point, I couldn't figure it out. And my mom couldn't figure out how to teach me. And she was getting frustrated with me. Then all the mental abuse was happening. Then you're sitting around a dining room table for hours and you just feel like you're being tortured, literally. And so I'm a pretty smart girl. I'm going to figure this out. So what do? I know what a score keys are. And I have a lot of time alone because my mom's not very present. So I'm sorry, Mom. She already knows. I told her. I don't care if anybody uses it against me. I don't have a lot of shame from my past anymore. I worked through a lot of it and I've made a lot of amends. But I was smart in my mind. Looking back, I came up with a solution to the problem. And I need to be accepted by my family, right? Right now, Mom thinks I'm stupid. And she wants to knock me over the head with a hairbrush. So homeschooling was not great for me. And I started to cheat and become really good at cheating and sneaky. And I really was hard on myself about that for a very long time, feeling kind of dumb and worthless. And I fell underneath, this idea that I need a man. And in my teenage years, I was going through some stuff because I was a musician. My mom had seen music ability in me and she made me pursue it. The Royal Conservatory of Music up in Canada was what I was training through, and that was my whole thing. There was no sports, there was none of that. It was just music. And as a teenager, I started doing a lot of competing, like a lot of competitions, a lot of recitals, a lot of performances, a lot of.
Can I ask real quick? You seem to be very talented now that we know you, like watching you musically. As a kid growing up, or now this part of your story that you're talking about, did music interest you then as it does now, or is it something you grew into enjoy?
Is it something she thrusted on you that she saw in you that you learned to love, or was it always like a passion?
I think as a little girl, I always had a knack, and she saw that, and so she pushed it in her direction.
Understood.
Which I'm grateful I have that. That's huge. I have my grade 8 Royal Conservatory of Classical Piano training under my belt.
Okay.
I don't feel like I could play anything at that level right now. I'm really rusty. I'd have to go back and get lessons again. But I was there. I was playing Chopin and all those things, right? And my mom was really just keep going. And It wasn't the direction I wanted to go. I wanted to be a singer. But I got a lot of music knowledge.
Cool.
And I did still get to sing. And, but my dad, so my dad's from a Mennonite background. His family all came out of the Mennonite culture.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother world of like being sheltered, like way more sheltered than me.
Yeah.
And he just was so like, he just kind of did what mom was very convincing. And he wasn't really on board with any of it. So mom had to fight it a little bit, but there was already so much, what's the word mom liked to use? Our family's dysfunctional. I was like, surely not every family is like ours. She's like, every family has their problems. And I'm like, this is just nuts. We're not hiding in the bathroom with a phone about to call the police because you guys are fighting so hard you're scaring the shit out of us. Like, that's not fucking normal. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're both to blame.
Mhm.
And I held a lot of resentment for that, but it's okay. It's in the past. I've forgiven, but it's the truth. And it caused a lot of pain and trauma for me, especially when my sisters left and I was there to do it on my own. But, Dad came along like a saving knight in shining armor, acting like mom was the problem, when in truth, Dad has narcissistic tendencies and he was abusive to my mother early on. Plus, my mom has undiagnosed mental health stuff from her mother, right? And it all just, this trauma, right? This generational trauma just keeps pouring on to the next and the next and the next, and nobody's getting it dealt with. Everybody's blaming the next person. And then I was like, I hate this. I'm going to get away from it. So I was starting to go through an enlightening moment where I was like, I'm done with the gospel hall. I found another church I really liked. And I was starting to feel like connected to spirit for the first time, 17 years old. Then, dun, 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 I met my ex-husband. I was 17. And obviously, he gave me the attention that I so desperately looked for, that I didn't get from the people who were supposed to give it to me. And he was handsome, like Abercrombie model handsome. And he really, really love bombed me good. Like, really, really well. And people warned me all left, right, and center. My mom tried to not have us marry. My dad supported it because he was in the gospel hall. So that was a big, huge factor for Dad. Trying to leave a legacy of that, of what he believes is true. But yeah, he was a really good, manipulator from the get-go. And with a long-distance relationship, you can't really get to know somebody. But also being 18, very young, very naive, totally don't know. Anything's got to be better than here, right? And so I was always ambitious, and I had spunk energy and Leo, just, adventure, let's go. So who in the right mind at 18 years old marries somebody from Michigan, moves 1,100 miles away across the Canadian border?
Wow.
Who? In the right mind. Well, I'm not in my right mind.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's okay.
That's a hell of a story of coming to Michigan, though. I mean, that's a hell of a story.
No kidding. Yeah. I mean, that's what got me here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was in 2008 was when I got married.
Okay.
We lived in Ohio for a little bit. I had to get it was a whole thing to get my citizenship, and I didn't get it till 2019. But just to get my green card was like a 3-year process. I think I didn't get it until I had my first son.
Okay.
Like 2.5 years, I think it took me.
I didn't even think about that.
I smuggled into the country illegally at the beginning of our relationship because we were so in love we couldn't be separated. And
That's
There's a
kind of
whole
cool.
thing.
That's kind of cool.
well, we have a bit of a fun story at the beginning, and it could have been really great, but a bunch of trauma happened, and then it just wasn't great. And he brought trauma that he was unaware of to the relationship. I brought trauma I was unaware of to the relationship. I was just thinking to myself that I was going to create a new life for myself, the one I dreamed of, and I was going to have a new family that was going to love me. And then his family hated me from the get-go. And it was like, okay, he lives all this ways away. It's it's not like we can just, okay, well, we've invested all this time. Now your family hates me. Now I guess we can't be together. And like, I don't know. To me, that I just was like, oh, well, just another toxic family. You know?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know there was any better. Mom said every family has their problems.
Mhm.
And I just discounted a lot of things trying to be accepted. Well, this man loves me. Well, he'll leave his family, you know, and all their prejudices aside, and he'll come and cling to his wife like the Bible says to do, you know, and it won't be a problem. He loves me, and his family need to let him go anyway because they're very controlling, especially his mother.
Yeah.
And he couldn't let go of his family either. There was a hold. But when he finally was like had enough of their stuff, he moved to Ohio to work on a crew, and that's where we ended up living at the beginning of a relationship. But that was only short-lived because the crew kind of died down. We were always having money issues.
Yeah.
And he was always asking my family for money, and we ended up moving up to Michigan to be closer to his family, but they were just not good to me. You know, there's a lot of trauma that happened there too, you know. So I agreed that we could move here if we moved to Jackson, because Jackson, I knew some people from the gospel hall here and were my friends. So I was like, at least we can settle somewhere where I know people. That's important.
Okay, right
Because
on.
I left Ohio where my sister and brother-in-law were, you know.
Yeah.
I left Canada where all my other family was.
Mhm.
So we lived in Stockbridge for a little bit, and I found a place here. Stayed here for a while.
Where did you stay in Stockbridge, if you don't mind my asking?
There was like a Munith is
Yep.
more where we live.
See, I grew up in Fowlerville, so I'm familiar. So I
Okay.
was just being nosy.
And my
And we didn't
mom-
live there very long, but
Gotcha.
My mom camps like end of Munith Road,
Mhm.
like going the back way down Seymour, so like super close to Munith.
Yep.
So
I know where that is.
Yeah, just being nosy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of frogs in the summertime on the roads there. We would hit them all the time. It was like almost terrifying. I'm gonna close my eyes while we drive home because I don't want to hit any more frogs.
That's
Mhm.
a funny memory.
And the mosquitoes would be like, "Quick, open the door! Okay, quick, close the door."
Mhm.
So,
Man.
but we didn't live there very long because I didn't have a vehicle, and I was spent most of the time that we had children stranded. A lot of times, I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years.
I
didn't have a job.
Okay.
We at first I thought that's what I wanted, and when I started to voice my opinion about like that's not really what I want, he didn't agree with it, and all of a sudden like I didn't have a say in anything, and so I started to come like a little fighty, you know, like I just this isn't fair, but at the same time doing it anyway because I'm a people pleaser. I'm trying to comply and I'm trying to be accepted and loved.
Mhm.
So I became a little bitchy, but then also just, I'm still a good person, but just desperately trying to make this marriage work, and it's not working. And trying marriage counseling, and every pregnancy I would get so sick, and postpartum depression was a bitch for me, just so horrible. And every single baby was worse. Not having family to help was really hard. I had to do everything myself, and just being truthful, but my ex-husband was like a fifth child.
Yeah.
And it's just the truth. Like, I couldn't even get him to take out a trash bag. And I couldn't tell you how much of a relief it was when I finally was like, I don't need him. He brings nothing to my life. He hurts me
Mhm.
Good for
every
you.
day. But that took a long time, 14 years. Well, 13 years to finally get that realization, 14 years before we were divorced.
Understood.
And that took a slow fade because in the process of it all, I mean, there was a lot that happened in those years, obviously. We can go into story after story, but in the end, like, I was his property, and it didn't really seem like he took anything seriously about me, you know. And I was constantly unseen in that relationship. And it was in 2019 when my dad, so I just haven't said very good things about my dad so far, but I love my dad. And I've told him very truthfully how I feel about some of the stuff he's done. I also told him that I love him and I forgive him, and we have a better relationship today.
Awesome.
But where was I going with that?
I want to say real quickly here.
2018.
I just real quickly. I really have loved your story so far. And have you ever thought about like narrating or something? Because the way you've just been telling your story, I don't even want to interject and ask questions. You have just I don't know. Like I'm intrigued. I am just here listening. Like I don't know what my question was. Have you ever thought about narrating something like Morgan Freeman?
haven't.
Like
Like
honestly,
Morgan Freeman.
seriously, no. This has been
Until I do that, or until I like cough gag,
okay.
or like snort. And I do these things, so maybe not. Maybe we'll stick to podcasts so people can get that real authentic version of me.
Man, sorry for that. You were
Oh, I was back to
2018.
yeah. So I had my daughter in
Sounds great.
2018, and postpartum depression was so horrible when she came into the world. 4 months in, it's always like that. With the last two, it was 4 months in, and I was just a basket case with a deadbeat husband, and I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't have support, and I was kept isolated, and I didn't have any financial ability to do anything to help myself because we had to ask my family for money all the time. And every time I turned around, he was putting a new junk car in the yard that he was tearing apart, and just bringing something else in. He was a hoarder, and it was so hard on me. I just felt so unseen, like I was just here and I had to just put up with this. And there was a point in 2014 when we went through we didn't get divorced, but we were going through a really hard time where we kind of were at a point where I was going to leave him with kids. I'd had a man friend because he had isolated me so much. And there was nothing intimate with this friend. It was just a friend. But in the way that we were raised in this gospel hall, it's so not okay to have a relationship with opposite sex, especially if you're married, which I can understand to some extent with boundaries.
Yep.
Yes. But this was so extreme that I found myself, after he found out about this friend of mine, he told me I had cheated. It was emotional cheating, even though I'd never touched the man. And I truly believed it. I really took it on because people pleaser. And what did I do? But only after he threatened the children. Realizing I was going to lose my kids was the end of me. So in 2014, he threatened to take the kids away. So I dove back in and said, to death do us part? Well, I guess it's about the kids now. So my mom stuck with my dad through all of their shit and still are together, even though they live on separate floors of their condo. She celebrated 50 years marriage.
Yeah.
Was I going to do this? And I sat there and I said, yeah, I guess this is it. I love my kids. And this was told to me that this is what you do to be a good mom and a good wife is you sacrifice. So I was willing to make the sacrifice because I believed it was truly what was right. And I watched my mom become the martyr, and I was willing to become the martyr. But to what happened next was that I became an alcoholic over it. Like, my daughter was 4 months old, and I can remember the day. My marriage was falling apart. My dad had already showed me more love by coming and cleaning out my garage of our new home that we had just moved into, so I could park my car in it, so I could empty babies out into a garage with snow. That showed me more love than I'd ever seen in my marriage in years.
Understood.
And then I hit postpartum depression, and he hasn't done any of the things he said he was going to do. And we've been married for 10 years now.
Okay.
And it just hit me like I'm going to be miserable for the rest of my life.
It's a shitty feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to accept that. At this point, inside, and I wouldn't say it out loud, but I was like, I hate the man.
Yeah.
He had changed who I was. He had turned me into somebody completely different I didn't even recognize. And he still doesn't admit to anything much. We've had some conversations, but in turn, he switches back, and it's never
in our relationship, it was always like that too. Anytime we go to counseling, maybe he'd get a little wake-up call for a second. Maybe start picking up around the house, making a little bit more effort to be sweet, or spend more time with me because I have quality time,
Yeah.
But I didn't even want to do those things with him anymore. I didn't even like to be around him. I didn't want him to touch me. I didn't, it's just, you disgust me at this point. Like, you forced me to have sex with you.
Which is not okay.
And, he would say, I didn't force you. You said okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we all know that, like, how manipulation and pressure and gaslighting and mental abuse works.
I've said this 100 times. I don't know means no. Maybe means no. I'm not sure means no. Sometimes yes even means no in the right context.
Yes, in my situation meant no, but I had no idea how to say it.
Yep.
I was so scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's ridiculous.
That is.
But I lived in fear. So I can remember the day I became an alcoholic. My baby was 4 months old. We just got home from church. It's chaos. I got 4 kids under 10, under 9.
Damn. Yeah, damn.
And a 5th one that's way too old to be a kid, but is still acting like one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any help and any support. And he's always been a drinker, but it was beer, and he never really got drunk. He might have gotten a little bit giddy. I never saw my husband drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never sipped on alcohol before. When I was 21, I was pregnant. And when I was 18, I could have drank up in Manitoba. I left and came here. So I wasn't a drinker. But I had some wine and a little here and there, and started socially drinking with friends and stuff like that. And it became like a thing where it was part of my world, but not alcoholic behavior yet.
Yep.
And it was just kind of the normal, acceptable drinking style of life,
Yep.
The slippery slope.
Yeah.
For me, with an addictive personality who needs to be loved and accepted and can't stand an empath and can't stand the way I feel most of the time within my own skin, right?
Yep.
Plus all the trauma I didn't know how to deal with.
Yep.
Alcohol sounded great. Go get me a bottle.
Yeah.
Coconut rum sounded great. And that 5th went down really smooth and really quick.
Yep.
And I was, within 20 minutes, I was dancing around the living room and I was the happiest mom in the world.
Yep.
It had solved my problem. Alcohol was my best friend. Finally, I had one.
Yep. It was my mistress for years. I understand.
Yeah, it's making me very emotional. Because it literally, his drink was his other woman.
Yep.
And I watched him dance with her every single night.
Yep.
And it's terrible. So.
Always relating, never comparing. Always relating here. So we understand. Maybe not exactly what you're saying, but to an extent, we understand. Both of us separately.
I know. I know
Together.
what that's like. I love being in the rooms with
Sorry.
like-minded people. It fills me up so much. And I'm so grateful that I can share this story without crying because I said in my counselor's office a couple years ago, I said, I know I have a story to share. I know I have hope to bring. I'm in the trenches and I don't know how in the world or when I'll be ready.
Yep.
But that was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what today, guys?
Yep.
I transitioned out of the type of therapy I was taking to the next step.
Awesome.
And I canceled my case management, and
Congrats.
Yes.
things are changing. I'm getting better.
Yay. I love that. I love that so much.
Yep.
I'm doing better. I'm healing, spacing out my therapy, but still going to my meetings.
Awesome.
But anyways, we jumped forward.
No, that's great. No, that's great. Wow. Yeah, no, you were best mom ever. 9,
Oh, yeah.
Yep. They were all under 9 dancing around, and that's. I'm sorry to roughly summarize that or terribly summarize that, but
So we were, finally drinking to solve problems.
Mhm.
And I wasn't drinking like every day necessarily yet, but it started to get that way pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we had moved into our new house, I was becoming pretty heavily addicted to alcohol and drinking more and more and kind of hiding it. I needed it to be able to weed the garden.
Mm-hmm.
I needed it to be able to. It just started to become something I needed. So that was 2019. My dad came, cleaned up my garage, made me feel loved. I was drinking the whole time he was there, going back into my room and getting another swig, mixing it with something, gargling.
Yep.
My dad was not a drinker, and believed firmly that alcohol was not good, and would call it a sin to drink. Even his brother died of alcoholism. His body shut down, and I think that was a shock to my dad's system, because he couldn't fathom that would happen to one of his family members.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I got divorced, I didn't think my dad quite got through the fact that that was going to happen to one of his daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had judged people so harshly for that
Yeah.
within the church,
Mm-hmm.
and now his own daughter is a divorced woman.
Mm-hmm.
But with the drinking, it was like I was drinking so much just to cope with the miserable reality that I was stuck there with my kids, with a man that I no longer even could stand being around, his energy. I literally get panic attacks knowing he was about to come home, because I almost felt like I had to stay busy and distracted, and always had to have a meal on the table. And if I needed to get out of the house, if I needed a break from the kids, it was going to be a fight. Or he would say, okay, fine, and then be calling me within half an hour, like, the kids are going crazy, when are you going to be home? Or if I'm taking a girls' night, within an hour or two, kids miss you. I don't think he took the kids out of the house by himself until, I think we had I was pregnant with my third child. That type of stuff. So it's just like, alcohol was really the only thing I had. I didn't have my family. I didn't have a good husband. I didn't have in-laws that liked me or were even healthy to be around in any way, shape, or form. I was trying to get away from that. But eventually it hit me when my dad loved me in a way that was better than my husband. And he's my dad, who I carry a lot of trauma and hurt from. And he could see my need, and he could see me, and he could see I needed shelves built, and he wasn't going to take all his shit, and he wasn't going to throw it away. He built shelves for the motherfucker, and he organized all of his shit for him, even though he paid all his bills. So he could put my car in the garage, so I could put his grandkids in a warm garage, in a warm car, and not stomp through snow in Michigan winter. It's a sweet thing, and it's not that big a deal. If you think about it, like, that's almost bare minimum. If you're going to have a family, like, you should have the decency to take care of them in ways you can. If you got a garage for them, freaking clean it out and put them in it. I don't know what the big deal was all the time. I think he struggled with mental health, but in regards to all of the things that were undealt with, the biggest one was me. Because I poured myself into being a mom, being a wife, and I didn't have my own individuality at all. I was constantly told my whole life what to do, what to think, who to be, how to act, how to dress, how to speak. So now the journey is kind of personal, I divorced him in 2000 and it was official in 2022. Same year I had my DUI.
Congratulations on that. It sounds like congratulations are in order. Congrats. So that's good.
Yeah, it was after a long cycle of trying to understand what was going on when I finally realized you cannot see things. Once you finally see it for what it really is, and you just cannot see it, right?
Yep.
So I started going to counseling secretively through the Aware Shelter. And I saw a couple different counselors there.
Congrats, really. Yeah.
So that was very helpful. And I got oh, he's all the things on the power and control wheel except the physical abuse. Like, he doesn't hit me.
Mhm.
So I realized after going back and forth, that I had no choice. Like, there was never going to be any out. I was going to live in misery, and my children were going to see that this was okay. So it was finally a hard choice, but I thought it was going to be roses after that. Like, I really honestly thought, I'm going to find my Prince Charming. Like, there's really somebody out there for me that would actually treat me right. And it led me
There is.
into
There
Well,
is.
there-
I will interject. There is some. There is. Sorry. Yep.
there is somebody.
Yep.
God has somebody for me.
Mhm.
But I got so squirreled. What was I saying?
Yeah. Sorry. After I said you will, I lost.
You started
He
seeing
was
things
everything on the
power and control wheel.
sides. Oh, and I did want to interject on that one time as well. My grandma has always said, my grandpa was the same way. I will try not to put their business out there too much, but she said that sometimes she would rather wish that he just hit him. And
I said the same.
yeah, okay, so I
said the same thing.
understood.
I mean, however, I've been beat as a child, but like
Understood.
not beat, but like
Mhm.
pretty terrifyingly. Like, not physically left bruises on, but like I was beat.
Understood.
And I would rather him have just given me a chance to fight,
Mhm.
you know, than to just verbally shrink me down to a little version that I didn't even know. Little Debbie.
Well, that and people can see you're hurt when you're being hit. Like,
Right.
there's a
It's
visual
right in front of you.
representation of the hurt.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, but then you're masking the pain, and they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see how hard you're struggling
Mhm.
because it's not a bruise on your face.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep.
Which is why emotional and mental abuse is so damaging, because it can happen so easily behind closed doors and nobody knows.
Even if you nail a nail in a board and pull the nail out, there's still a hole there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then that's what happened, was all the damage poured onto the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
So it sounds like the Aware Shelter helped you with
yes,
this.
with the
Good.
understanding
Good.
and the validation, because
Mhm.
I hadn't been validated about anything. I had been fought. I went through hell to get this divorce.
Mhm.
I lost everyone. Everyone thought that it was because, like, I was having some rebellious streak and I was having an outside relationship, which I didn't have a relationship or try anything sexually with anyone until after I told him I was divorcing him.
Yep.
And he thought that I was, you know, a whore because we were still married. But I don't have any regrets, because it all brought me to where I needed to be. And the version of me that needed to explore, because I was so sheltered, I had to go out and sow my oats, so to speak.
Mhm.
I had to go out and figure out what it was I was missing. I couldn't just have my mom say, "Oh, well, don't do that."
Mhm.
Well, why? People have been hiding shit from me and I don't like it.
Mhm.
Never hear us shame anything about anybody. Good for you.
Don't keep
Congrats.
me in a box.
Yep.
I don't like this.
Well, it
Here,
also
here.
sounds like you grew up and in your marriage you experienced like some seriously antiquated traditions of what marriage and womanhood should be.
Very
So-
much so. Like, women were less than in
Right.
so many ways.
So then when you finally got the freedom to experience that, what was like the craziest thing that you learned that like
Well,
as
actually,
a woman? Right?
can I say this out loud?
Yeah.
That I actually like sex.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna, I'm not
No.
like that.
No, I-
no.
But
It's crazy.
I was like,
100%.
wait, there can actually be a great experience.
Mhm.
It's not just for the guy, believe it or not, people.
And to have somebody actually focus on me
Yes.
and make me feel good, and not like, well, you owe me because you're my property and you're my wife. You know, and don't get me wrong, in that whole experience, I also had really bad sexual experiences. You know, I was date raped once.
Mhm.
I had a lot of them.
Like, I
different
bought you
ones.
dinner, you owe me kind of bullshit.
it was, I don't know what it was actually. I just don't, I think it was slipped in my drink.
Oh no.
After work, I took a coworker out to show him around the town and all the spots that I had found. And I think it was something was slipped in my drink because I only had a few drinks and I was obliterated. And I remember running across the parking lot from Town Bar towards Chase where we were parked, and I fell and I hit my head on the cement, and he drove me home in my car to his apartment, which is like, I lost my purse. I couldn't remember anything the next day. I didn't know what was up and what was down. It was just a crazy experience. So really glad those types of things don't have anymore. But what I didn't realize was how worried people were for me. I didn't realize how much I was in danger during that time. Like, I was in a lot of situations. I had no fear because I had never been taught or instilled any fear of the outside world. I was only instilled fear of what you do if you disobey God.
Morality. You were in fear of like.
I was, the fear my mom instilled on me, like, we live out in the country. You should close your blinds when it gets dark because you never know what Tom is out there lurking in the darkness. That type of fear, but like not actual, like, I was homeschooled. I had no social skills. I didn't know about the world. I knew nothing. We didn't even have a TV until I was 12 and 9/11 happened.
Wow.
For real.
Yeah, that's wow. Well, congratulations on all that you've learned from going from where you started to where you are now. I mean, it sounds like just congratulations are in order regardless.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So when did you start to address becoming sober?
So in 2022, after right before the divorce was final, I was already in a new relationship, and we were actually getting really close really quick. Good. And we met because of the bar. He lived right behind the bar we met, and held the after party. And we connected on a bunch of levels, but one of them was music. And started having gigs together, and the plan was we moved really quick. We fell hard in love, and the plan was to move in with him when the divorce was final, because I didn't really know what I was doing yet. I really, not having anything under my belt, being homeschooled, having cheated, and not having any schooling, having 9 years of being a stay-at-home mom, what am I going to do? And so I really didn't know. I was like, I know I need to get divorced, but I hadn't figured out the next steps.
Gotcha.
And I didn't have any money saved because we didn't have any money, and there was no way I could stash any of it away. And he wouldn't let me have a job, and I couldn't have my own account. And any money that we got from my parents, he used. So I couldn't figure it out, and I moved in with him. But right before that happened, I was heading home to his house after I had gone out because he was away. And I hit that blinking red on the corner by the Roost, where Boost Mobile is. Because along Ganson, okay, at 12:20 in the morning, it's blinking yellows, okay, until you hit West Ave. Did you notice it changes?
Yes.
I didn't that night.
Because West Ave is straight shot, main road.
I swore it was blinking yellow when I was 1 block from home.
No, blinking red.
You know, statistically, they say it's within 5 miles at the maximum of where you live.
This is what happens. People are literally getting comfortable, like, oh, we're almost home, or we're getting tired. Something goes wrong. So that's what happened. Right outside the Roost, I blew a blinking red, and a car came from my left, blew my vehicle this way. Another vehicle hit me from this way, and I slammed right back into that pole. And that was my very first DUI. Because I wasn't drunk, but I did blow a .089.
So I
was over the limit.
Right over it.
I was ready for bed, guys. I wanted to go to my bed, and I was like, oh no, because that car flew around, and I was in shock. We all got to the hospital. I was arrested.
That's why I just shared off the YouTube.
Sorry.
Just leave it.
They took me to the hospital instead of the jail because it was a crash, and they needed to make sure there weren't any injuries. So I've never spent a night in jail.
You said first DUI. That leads me to believe that there's a second, or just
first and only.
First and only. Perfect.
First and done.
Good.
One day at a
Yes,
time.
ma'am. But yeah,
Mhm.
awesome.
Just for today.
Just
So-
for today.
Sorry, when I say first DUI, it's because I have a 2 and a 3. So
Yeah,
that's
I
all
understand.
that's why I was like, wait a
Most of my
minute.
friends do.
You know, it drives me nuts. Sometimes he'll refer to me as his first wife. I'm like, I don't like that.
yeah,
I do not like
yeah, well,
that,
yeah,
sir.
she's my only wife, but I refer to her as my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, he calls me his ex-girlfriend. I'm like,
Because she's my
I
ex-girlfriend.
am your ex-girlfriend. I am your wife, but I just, bad taste.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's funny.
true.
I think
It's funny, though.
Yeah.
Both.
It can be both.
It
you
can
know,
be.
sometimes things can be both.
or your situation.
Right.
So 2022, you get a DUI going down West Ave, but you don't get sober then, or you do,
No.
and then or how does this? How
Yeah,
does this
no,
work?
I thought about it.
I get it.
You know,
That's the first step.
I did.
Mhm.
I thought I will do an NA beer, see
Mhm.
how those taste.
Terrible.
Fuck no. I never was a beer girl anyway. It was vodka for sure. Vodka was the main one. Whiskey.
You know, I wouldn't
Vodka.
get vodka from you. I was thinking whiskey, like mainly, because I feel like there's subclasses of
When I drank
drinkers.
whiskey, I blacked out,
ah.
and I don't remember the night.
I see.
So apparently, I have no clue what kind of drunk I am when I drink whiskey.
I was.
We went to the roost that night. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Sorry. She was functioning, and then she was asleep.
yeah.
Yeah, I was that drunk.
Right.
So let's see here. Get the DUI. My boyfriend at the time is somewhat discouraged in me. We have been doing music, and he already has gotten sober because he started to see my disappointment in him
Mhm.
when he was playing music, and he was drunk and he couldn't play his guitar.
Mhm.
That was he noticed that. I didn't say that to him, but he made on his own the choice to be sober for
Awesome.
5 months on his own. I did not. And
So-
I had a DUI already. I was waiting for them to come after me.
Mhm.
They hadn't done anything yet. And I had found out before the courts even got to me that other people in the crash were suing me.
Okay.
So I was really worried. I've never been in trouble with the law before in my life, and I was a good girl. And what now? So I was really scared. And I kept drinking, though, because nobody's caught up with me. I'll deal with it when I have to. By the time they caught up with me, it was January. So that's like a whole 7-8 months. And they finally sentenced me to 8 months probation and substance abuse counseling, like IOP. And but even once they sentenced me, I still kept drinking. And like my probation officer was Jim Hunt, and he was like, "Oh, good girl." Like he didn't really like test me. He never drug tested me.
Yep.
Like, and he'd go weeks without seeing me, and I just felt like the girl who was cheating in school again, and like I could get away with it.
Yep.
Plus, I was hanging out with people who've all been getting away with it, or trying to,
Yeah.
or getting 3 DUIs. Like it was no big deal. And so it was finally like after my birthday in August, and I had been partying all weekend, and I knew I had to go see my probation officer, but I didn't even give a shit.
Yep.
Like what?
Yep.
So I go in there just like, I haven't seen you in 6 weeks. Yeah, you're not gonna drop me, are you? Like, no. What?
Yeah.
He's like, so here. And he hands me the cup. And I'm like, okay. And I go to turn around, and I'm actually going to go freaking pee in this cup. Like, no fear. Like, what the actual? And he's like, he stops me and he says, is it going to show anything? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what? I'm like, alcohol. So he scared me to jail at first. And I was like, I've got kids. So then it was a scram. And he put the scram on my ankle, and I had to wear that for 3 months. And that was when I stopped drinking because I couldn't.
Mhm.
If I did, I'm going to jail. And I'm alone here, but my kids will be more alone.
Yeah.
And that was my main thought. For my kids,
Mhm.
I've got to do what it takes. And then that was also what my counselor at the ILP was saying. Like,
what kind of mom do you want to be? Like, you have to make the sacrifice now. I had to put in 9 hours of IOP.
Mhm.
So every week for weeks. And all of that, and then going to AA on my own accord is what I've been doing. And then going down this journey of trying to do life sober as a mom, a single mom with, no support, and trying to find my support in my family and trying to find what that even is while I'm trying to heal from all my toxic tendencies and all that generational shit. And all the damage I've even done to my kids, what I didn't realize I was doing. My son, he was suicidal for a minute, and we had to work through all of that. And he I've had to, my oldest son doesn't live with me anymore. I've had to work through a lot of grief to understand that I can't change the past. And I can't force anybody's heart to change. And as much as his, grandparents don't like me and he hangs out with them, that is the influence. And that is just something I've had to learn to accept. Like, I can't force anyone to, I can't.
No.
And I did bad things to my kid, that would, in hindsight now have caused him trauma. Not my intention.
Mhm.
I was raised that you spank your children.
Mhm.
I was raised that I was raised to understand angry discipline. That was all I knew. And even though I knew it didn't feel good inside me, I was not trained in any other way, So he was a special needs child, and I had no skills to handle it, and I was left alone to handle it, my own mental health shit. So I'm having to deal with all of these things now that I'm sober, trying to really sit with what it did, all the things that I did, and what I have, the pieces I got to pick up, or how I got to lay them down now for my foundation, because it's the reality is it happened. All of it happened. And all I got is now.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So I was really miserable after I got sober for a while too, because I was living in the shame and the guilt, and that was eating me whole.
Mhm.
For real.
It will.
Yeah. And then I was kind of hanging out with some, maybe you'd say the wrong crowd. Not intentionally. They're good people, but just doing things that weren't going to help my sobriety or my growth. And then my best friend died in October of 2024.
I'm so sorry.
I am sorry as well.
Yeah. She committed suicide. And I went through so much with that because I had no one. And then she was
The one. Yeah.
And then she was gone. And then I wished I was gone, and I was jealous of her.
Mhm.
I was sober.
Mhm.
Okay? But I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to live. I wished I could go get a bottle. I wish I could drown my sorrows. I was grieving. Eventually I was around the AA tables, and I was there is no God. There's a God. I can't get behind any of these gods that you guys believe in. Any of your teachings. If that's your God, then I don't want anything to do with your God. So I became my own God in a way, and did my own thing and didn't answer to anybody. And while they do, it was a lot more of, what's acceptable in these very selfish mindset. Even with my kids, not realizing what I was doing, I ended up homeless. Before I got sober, and I had to give my kids back to their dad so I could get on my feet. And somehow before I even got sober, I was able to get on my feet and get myself an apartment and get my kids back with me.
Awesome.
Even before I got sober, which is crazy to me, because that doesn't usually happen. But I had people that were really godsends. People that came into my life that were able to give me what I needed in the moment to help me get there. So now I'm on the other side of it, not completely, I'm still going through it, and we all go through it. I feel like we're always healing.
Mhm.
But I'm on the other side of the pain and living in it, because there was a point where I had to make a choice. Like, this can't be it. And after my friend died, I was like on this search for what's more.
Mhm.
Like, okay, if I can't join her, then what is this?
Right.
And where'd she go? And I couldn't make sense of any of it. So, sorry. It makes me so emotional. She doesn't know how much people loved her. She didn't know how much people loved her. And I can relate.
Mhm.
And so, someone who's struggled with suicidal thoughts for my whole life, I to sit here and not be in pain over what happened and where my life went and how everything didn't work out is a miracle.
Mhm.
Because I've seen people old around the tables, banging on tables, still resentful
Yep.
as hell.
Yep.
Who never got the healing, the grace, the letting go,
Yep.
the freedom, the forgiveness, the understanding. Like, I'm cool.
Yep.
Like, loving myself is actually so freaking cool.
Mhm.
And like, now I see the little girl that got abandoned, and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna let that happen again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stronger now.
Mhm.
So we got this, you know?
Mhm.
Like,
Great.
I don't know if that touched everything.
Pretty damn good, regardless.
Mhm.
I like one thing you just ended with 25 years sobriety, let's say. And I'm like, and you guys are greener than me, man. It's like talking about these old heads that I'm like, man, you're still sick people, man. Like, and nothing against them, but it's like, I'm 2.5 years and I'm like, I feel, well, you just said healed or healing. And, I just got asked, like, how come my sponsors only got like 3 or 4 years? Because I'm like, well, 25 years and they ain't healed. This dude's healed and he's got a couple years more than me. I'd rather learn from the guy that's healed, not from the
You
guy
gotta
that's.
keep going down that journey of enlightenment.
Yep.
Like, you can't
Yep.
stop. You can't think this is all it is. I just,
Yep.
there's more, always more. There's always more. If there's this, there's this. And if there's this,
Yep.
there's this.
Yep.
There's more.
Yep.
There's so much more. Go explore.
One of my very close friends was just talking about you cannot become unteachable. Because the moment that you're unteachable, you're not going to grow anymore. You're not gonna thrive. You're gonna be stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So whenever you need to do a speaker meeting, you hit an hour just fine. So we normally wrap up about an hour, so we're right around there. So we'll ask our wrap up questions, and then we'll ask you to sign our table.
All right.
So our wrap up questions are the same for every single guest. Is there anything I didn't ask that I should have? Is there anything that I missed? Is there anything that you want to share?
Are you happy with how you told your story?
Yeah,
I
Are you-
guess there's one more thing that I would add.
Perfect.
When I was going down the rabbit hole of exploring what was more,
Mhm.
that's when I found my peace. I watched a movie that changed my relationship with my higher power.
Okay.
It's called The Shack,
Okay.
and I saw God in the whole thing different. And I started to see how God sees me. And that was like huge, huge, huge moment of diving into the spiritual aspect to understand like the more,
Mhm.
like, because I was miserable sober, just being sober.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I needed to find out what was more, and the whole there was no God wasn't working for me.
Mhm.
I was still miserable, and I did find my higher power. My higher power is pretty freaking cool.
Mhm.
And like, I've had way more miracles happen in the last year of my life since I've had some of this spiritual awakenings. I've had more miracles happen in this past 1 year than I have my whole
Mhm.
35 years before that.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say finding my higher power, figuring out what that looks like for me,
Mhm.
outside of all the spiritual shit that happened.
Mm-hmm.
No, not spirit. I can't call it spiritual.
Yep.
It wasn't spiritual. It was dictated religion. And to heal from that, to have a relationship with my higher power, to think Jesus is cool.
Mhm.
Like, all these things are like major, major miracles for me because I've been so damaged from the church, and to have the feeling of just wanting to go help people and it's not about me, and I just want other people to feel like this instead of that, you know? So I guess I'm living amends in my life right now, trying to figure out what's next and always trying to ask who's next for me to serve.
Perfect.
And right now I'm working a job that is serving people every day. And
Awesome.
I'm trying to dig into being a better mom every day, being more present and help my kids now delve through life in the way that I'm learning. So
Awesome.
I guess that's it for me.
What's your definition of success?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ask everybody this question?
We
Yep,
do,
that's
yeah.
it.
Everybody has a different response.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
We've had a
Also
couple
different.
overlap, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for the most part, everybody's is widely different, very
Mhm.
widely different. That's why we ask
Um,
to kind of show. Yeah.
Success is if you're doing better than you were yesterday.
Rock on.
Mhm.
Rock on, man.
Mhm.
Katie, your wrap up questions?
If you now met younger you, any point of your life younger you, that's up to you to decide. Would you get along with her and would she get along with you? Like vice versa?
The younger me, yeah, we'd be buddies.
Mhm.
But the other version of me that I became and all that trauma, I'm gonna want to slap her upside her head sometimes. But I'm learning how to be gentle with myself. And so I think knowing what I know about myself now, I did the best I could with what I had. And that's the thing that people don't tell themselves enough.
Yes.
I was given a shitload.
Mhm.
What do you do with a shitload? Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So I do want to like stress, do you think you younger in the mindset you were in would see who you are now and would she get along with you?
yeah, I think she'd be like, okay, finally somebody's here to protect me.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
finally I can breathe. And I've been telling myself in the mirror, like I've been doing some mirror work, and I'm like,
Awesome.
I got you.
You're doing shadow work?
I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Starting to love it.
It scares me a little bit, but it's there.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to get like so like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, aw, you're cute.
One word to describe your entire journey from where you started, where you are now, and where you will end up. Has to be a real word. One word.
One word. There's so many good ones I'm thinking of right now. This is really hard.
That's why they're the last question.
Yep, because they are probably the hardest out of them all for sure.
Perseverance.
Okay.
Like it. So we will cut the camera when we ask you to sign our table. But before we go, we got you one of our shirts. Very
Awesome.
simply put, stories save lives.
I love it.
Mm.
Thank
There
you.
you are. Yep.
That's great.
You
Thank you guys
fun.
for watching.
Thanks for
you guys.
watching.
Yep,
All
I'll grab the pen
right.
once you cut out.